All right, welcome everybody to session 61 of Descent into Fernia. Who would like to give the recap?
We're
alive.
Yeah, we died. Let's see. Ewan died.
I damn near did.
He died and came back, and I think Blade died and came back as well. As we were trying to first investigate which hole we should go down, the first hole, Lux jumped down there since she has the an insane jump ability, and she noticed or got attacked or something. She noticed a large tentacle coming up through another hole in the floor. So we decided, not that hole, let's go down the other hole, down the hallway to the other hole. So Ewan and Blade went to go check it out. And we passed a macrophage column, which we all decided, we learned that we could sneak past it because they were sensitive to movement. So we returned and got back to the party, and then got everybody snuck over to the second hole, and we jumped down, we lowered down into that hole through combination of ropes, similar to how we did other descents. And that's when the tentacle from the first hole reached across the hallway, and we started engaging with it. There was a poison cloud that got spit out, which Ewan had the only light, I think. And so when he got caught in that cloud, it made everything dark. So nobody could see. And he has a moment of genius where he's going to try to just allow this tentacle to take him, and then he would just rush at it. And he went down the second hole, or the third hole rather. And
I was successful.
And he was successfully went down into the third hole, into a pool of acid, and managed to kill this tentacle thing while being burned alive by acid. Through a combination of sheer luck and just enough dice rolls.
Just enough hit points.
and no shortage of hit points. He managed to fish him out, and he did not die, thus depriving everyone of the potential level up.
Yeah. It was confirmed. Mike said if I had died, that would have been a level up for everybody.
Although the best part of the session was when Ewan was grappled by the tentacle. This poison cloud erupted so nobody could see anything, and Ewan's like, I'm just gonna go with it, I'm just gonna let it drag me. And Mike was like, you don't know where it's taking you, are you sure about that? And he's like, I'm letting it drag me. He's like, you can't control where it takes you. He's like, I know, I'm letting it drag me. Think, going with it, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna let it take me to the source and kill it.
God damn it, I was right.
And then
I had a plan, I followed through.
And then he gets pulled, and you came to the lip of the third tunnel down, and you grabbed on initially, at least that was the thought, and you were like, lightning boomerang in one hand and grabbing on with the other. And Mike's like, no, if you're gonna grab on, you're gonna need two hands. And you're like, well, guess I'm not gonna grab on then.
Go down there and beat its ass.
And I believe Ewan managed to survive with 2 vitality points left.
That's right.
Yeah, we tried to long rest after that because we were so beat up and hit with exhaustion. And about 10 minutes into that, more blood oozes came.
Mhm.
And so we dispatched them and then said, well, we're out of ideas and hit points.
I
And
did suggest that we seal ourselves in an airtight stone box.
we did talk about that
We
for a
had
while.
one idea.
I think we voted against it because there would be the problem of getting air. And also, like, since they're oozes, that they could probably find a way to pour through the stone somehow.
Yeah,
Through the air
that, and
hole that we would leave.
I'm also down to like I think 2 arrows right now.
Yeah.
Four arrows. That's what it is. Yeah.
I also think that the issue with the stone box idea was once it's created after 10 minutes, it's there forever. You can't dispel it. So unless you had stone
We'd have to
shape or something like that.
Break out of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, the stone walls have hit points, so you can eventually beat your way out of it. What would be, I mean, it's also something could have broken in.
Mhm.
I'm just more concerned about like being in this giant stone thing. Would this weird body that we're in just pass us like a kidney stone, or
Or I mean, could they like even spawn from the ground that it was around, and then we're trapped inside with these things? That'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I was considering no gaps, just full.
Oh, like an orb.
full-
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's yeah. Okay.
Like,
everybody hop so
inside-
that it can come up underneath your feet?
Yeah.
Everybody jump rope.
That's like one of those freeze frame photos. Everyone jump at 3.
But yeah, we eventually, yeah, we did not do that, and we decided to use the token to get back to the Wandering Emporium so we could have a night's rest. And then we were trying to figure out a way to economically do that.
Mhm.
As far as with our soul coins and such.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, just as kind of a reminder, according to my records, you guys have 11.5 soul coins remaining, which you are keeping in your bag of holding. And then, additionally, since you guys have a bag of holding, you could also have like a number of your days of food and water provisions in there if you wanted. But I also have that Ewan has 2 levels of exhaustion, Blade has 2 levels of exhaustion, and Lux has 1 level.
Yep.
Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. So
I mean, yeah, I could still, I guess I have to check my spell slots. Yeah, I could still make food and water for a day. So even if we didn't have it, we're okay on food and water.
but you use the token, which begins spinning, and from the token a portal opens, which you can pass through, and on the other side is the Wandering Emporium. And immediately upon coming into the Wandering Emporium, you are greeted by Master Hawkins, who not only greets you very warmly, but also offers the group blue cans of some fizzy brown drink and pies that are like sandwich pies and strange ridged bars, each of them in this weird packing material that is somehow clear but rippable. So
Melodia gladly takes hers.
oh
Dude,
yeah, here
remember-
Melodia, have have some of these. Melodia, it's interesting because you didn't introduce yourself, yet Master Hawkins knew your name. You
Yeah,
immediately pick up on that.
Yeah, as I pick up on that, while I have the food, I'm hesitant to like consume it right away. I'm giving a little bit, not a side, not like just a leer. I'm like, how did you know me?
I know everyone. I know everyone in Fernia.
Oh, okay. Like, who are you?
I am Master Hawkins, and I am the owner and proprietor of this here wandering emporium. I've gathered together all the finest artisans and merchants, and
Ewan just falls.
oh my.
Oh, don't mind my friend. It's a pleasure to meet you, but as you can see, we're a little rough for wears right now. We might need a place to mend ourselves.
Master Hawkins immediately goes to attend to you, and are you okay? Are you awake?
I'd rather not be.
He offers to help you up to your feet and say, well, let's get you sitting down. Would you guys like to come to the Seven Golden Seals? We can take care of you there.
I think that would be appropriate. You could use a good oil, a good oil job.
Excellent. Well, come on, everybody's welcome. And as he begins walking you over, and he's greeted by a pit bull that runs up to him from the entrance of the Seven Golden Seals and starts jumping on him and licking him. And it's also interesting that this pit bull has wings, and then in turn goes to each of you and begins like jumping on you, licking you, and is very excited to see all of you guys.
How much damage do I take?
Just some light scratches.
I mean, I was healed, but still.
So as Master Hawkins is leading you to the Seven Golden Seals, another portal opens, and a familiar yet grotesque creature walks through the portal, towering over everybody, followed by another familiar face. So you see Mad Maggie and Mickey with a couple of her red cap minions come through the portal.
So are they walking out of the Seven Golden Seals?
No, a portal opened similar to the one that you guys came through, and they merged.
By the Maggie.
Well, isn't this a surprise? I didn't think I'd see you guys again so soon.
Are you here on holiday?
These old bones are weary. They need a good rub down every so often.
They let just any old person walk up in here.
Mind your tongue, Ewan. I see you've gotten your arm back. It would be a shame if you were to lose it again.
Powered by the gods.
He is delirious from exhaustion. Don't mind him too much. So how are things?
Well, I suppose things are as well as could be expected.
Are your slaves still giving you no problems?
What's that?
Are your slaves still giving you no problems?
You can call them slaves if it's easier for you, but no, I don't have so much of an issue with the individuals in my employ. Rather, there's been an increase in raids by the warlords surrounding my territory. Very upsetting.
They must be getting bold. What was there something that happened that you know of in the greater world?
And sometimes it's just ebbs and flows. You know how it is. Perhaps you don't. You're not from here, but every once in a while, one of the warlords will find some new toy and just get so itchy to use it.
And who's this warlord and what is his new toy? You wouldn't be bringing it up unless you wanted us to look into it.
Oh, Ewan. No, I have no interest in your help at all. In fact, I'm very hopeful that you've made progress towards the ends predicted in the prophecy that I revealed to you.
I guess you'll have to wait and find out.
And I am so eager to discover what the result is. But I am patient. Can wait. Well, perhaps I'll see you inside. Come, Mickey. And Mickey goes and starts kind of lumbering over with the red caps in tow. And then Master Hawkins actually says, "Hey, yeah, actually, I wanted to mention that to you guys. I mean, you guys are beat up right now, so I mean, take your time and rest and everything. But we actually were attacked ourselves. Somebody actually had the balls to attack Wilfred. And they had some new siege weapon that actually managed to pierce his flesh. He has a harpoon sticking in his leg.
Is Wilfred okay?
I mean, for the most part, he's fine. We dealt with the warlords. It was some asshole named Archon the Cruel. But
Arkham the Cruel.
yeah, he's a local warlord. He's been up to all kinds of shenanigans lately. The Duke was able to take care of him, but now the Duke is in the shop in Tallow's garage, and she's needing to fix him. Normally, he would be the one to pull out the harpoon, but not really in a condition to do that. So maybe you guys could help Wilfred out when you get a chance.
It certainly could. I wouldn't be opposed to doing such a thing after we've had a chance to
Yeah,
recoup our
take your
wounds.
time, rest. It's okay, no rush. Wilfred is gonna live. I'll just be limping around for a little bit.
If we help out, if we are able to wrest the spear from the harpoon from Wilfred's leg, could we have a night on the house? Or at least at a discount?
Yeah, I think I could comp you a night.
Where on the leg is this harpoon?
Just like right above or right in the middle of his calf.
Do you know how big the harpoon is?
Pretty big. But you guys are tough. I'm sure you guys can get it.
This is the moment you've been training for, you. And his blade kind of nudges you with his foot as you're laying on the ground. Because I just imagine like Ewan just like face planted and it's just laying there.
Well, he said he picked me up, but
Oh, did he?
yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, what do you mean? What have I been training? How is this what I've been training for?
This is going to
Sorry
be an
guys, hold on one
interesting.
second. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
Because it's going to be an interesting climb down there.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Well, so you guys notice that Wilfred is planted at the moment. So you're on solid ground at the moment.
Still have to get down to the calf
yeah.
on foot.
And didn't we never really climbed. I guess did we drive up Wilfred?
Somehow.
No,
I always
So-
remember that we just like appeared in
so
Wandering Emporium. And, like we drove next to it and then we appeared like where we needed to be.
no, so you guys were following Wilfred, and it was in the storm, which
Mhm.
so you had seen it, and then the storm cleared, and then you saw the Wandering Emporium, and you know, because one minute Wilfred was there, next minute he wasn't, and there was this like town that sprung into existence. So Wilfred has a very supernatural ability to quickly kind of burrow himself into the ground beneath him to allow for people to come and go from the Wandering Emporium when Master Hawkins sees fit to kind of land.
Gotcha.
Should have done that when harpoons were shot at him.
Well, we were moving at the time.
Well,
Wilfred can normally take care of himself. And believe me, the Raiders got more than they bargained for. And then when the Duke went to help out, it was all over. But they had a lot of more advanced weapons. Like they actually damaged the Duke too, which, you know, that's quite a feat in itself.
which one's the Duke?
Quite the toy.
You guys haven't met the Duke.
Okay. I'm not familiar with this Duke, but I take you at your word. That,
Oh yeah, I made him. He's well, he's kind of like you. He's a golem, but completely made out of adamantine.
I am not the golem. I am Warforged.
What's the difference?
Can't just ask a guy that.
I don't have much experience with Warforged, so I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I just you know,
I just
don't know.
pictured Blade like reacting to the racism in the what's the difference?
Golems have no thoughts of their own, no motives or drives. They are commanded. We're forged. We're our own people with our own desires and desire our own wills to live.
Okay.
Golems do not have free will. We're forged do.
Okay.
Golems do not have
Okay.
souls. Warforged can be raised like any living being.
Oh, wow, really? Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be ignorant or anything. So
It
so
is
anyways, how about we get you into the seven golden seals and get your feet up and relax?
Extra day for the racism.
it sounds good to me.
Feet dragging.
So, Master Hawkins walks you into the seven golden seals. And Frank, for your benefit, it is mostly like the inside, even though it from the outside it appears kind of like a palatial type of like a Taj Mahal type building. On the inside, it is pretty primarily just decorated with various fabrics that are incredibly luxurious. And the doors are separated by like the beaded strings. And he shows you, in the minute that you walk in, the temperature and sense of comfort and sense of peace just kind of all washes over you, and you're immediately in a state of kind of relaxation. All of your concerns, all of your stresses kind of melt away, and it's a very pleasant, warm feeling. And he walks you in and he sits you down and into the a like cafe type area. There are a couple of other creatures kind of milling about, uh, and talking, conversing. It's very sparsely populated though at the moment. And so Master Hawkins offers you a table and each of you a chair. And he sits down with you, joining you, and says, "So, what have you guys been up to? Seems like you've been you've had some better days."
Before we discuss that, how often do you have dealings with, what was her name? Sad
Maggie.
Sally.
Mad Maggie.
Mad Maggie. Yeah, she comes by every once in a while. You know, she's okay. She's a well-paying client. So that's pretty much the golden rule around here. Don't bother the guests and pay on time.
I'm not sure she has our best interest at heart.
Oh, that's right. The branded one hasn't met Maggie yet.
Nope. I mean, I've heard about her prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And look at her. Tell she's evil.
Yeah. So,
There was some concern that if we're successful in our goals, that will put us in her crosshairs.
What is it that you guys are doing that she's interested in?
Looking for objects of power that she could take away from us and use for her own ends.
Well, from what I've heard about Mad Maggie, that's right up her alley. But I don't know. Just a kind of a gut feeling, but the way she talked about you guys do, completing the prophecy, it almost seemed like she was kind of rooting for you guys. And not in the way of like betrayal and backstabbing.
Well, the place where we were looking for these items, we met a group of fellow adventurers who were half melted into a wall, and it would have killed them to try to extract them from this place. So that is probably where they are all going to die. Some of them we were just executed on the spot, although that was surprising at the moment that happened.
That sounds awful.
Yes, and it seems as if Mad Maggie sent them there probably to find the same item we're looking for.
Maybe. Mad Maggie is a pretty good estimator of people's abilities. I'm betting if she sent them there, it's because she was hoping they'd get killed.
Certainly has a interesting sense of humor. Wasn't one of them like the sister of somebody you knew? Pointed to Lux.
Yeah.
Oh, so
She must
you,
have an interesting sense of humor, because if she's rolling around in the north of Vernia to have sent them this far just to kill them, there are any number of things in the north of Vernia that could have killed them. She could have saved them at least the trouble of crossing half the plain.
well, I can't say I'm an expert in Mad Maggie. I'm just telling you my gut feeling and sense of what's going on. But I mean, she is a hag.
She is quite ugly.
Oh, I meant like the species.
Oh,
They're
my
they're
bad.
they're pretty well known for being cruel and in a way that is uniquely terrible for each one of them. They each kind of have their own style.
Oh.
Well,
We will
so
see. But yes, we were on the throes of seeing those same adventures when we last came, right before we came here. We were in a horrid place that was just one long digestive process. It almost digested you, and
wait, did you get eaten by something?
No, we voluntarily crawled inside it.
When you
So
put it that
you-
way.
Oh, okay.
there's a oozing, pussing scab on the earth.
Oh, the scab. Yeah, I've heard pretty terrible things about that place.
Do not recommend going there. Unfortunately, we will have to return because our business takes us there.
We ain't done.
But you should never, under any circumstance, go there unless you absolutely have to.
Well, thankfully, I don't have any business that would take me to the scab. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't explore that business venture. What's in the scab that you guys need?
The crown.
Crown.
Okay,
No,
yeah, say so.
it should help us, it should help us. Shoot.
Part of some ritual. Part of the prophecies. All revolving around this place.
So the crown has magic powers?
Yeah,
Yes.
something about dreams.
Wait,
Just looking for prophecies and shit. That's the one.
So this crown, what does it do?
Something to do with dreams or whatever.
Dreams.
We learned of it in a dream.
We are freeing someone who is stuck in the dreamscape. Though I doubt that one she can ever be truly free of the dreamscape.
Do you mean Delcourt?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a
And
trippy place. How does it help your friend though?
Apparently she's stuck there.
this crown exists in all planes at different times, so I imagine there's some sort of conduit that allows one to interact and cross planes fairly easily.
I've heard of this crown. It's actually more of a dimensional anchor of sorts. So if your friend is trapped in the plane of dreams and they are if there's something like preventing them from returning, but how would they get to Delcourt anyways? I mean, physical travel to Delcourt has been impossible for over 10,000 years.
How was it? What happened to 10,000 years ago when the last individual traveled into Dalcor?
It wasn't so much people traveling into Delcourt as well, from what I've heard, there was an invasion from the creatures of Delcourt, and they were at war with the giants, and the giants used their magic to send Delcourt into a space that couldn't be crossed. Yeah, very, very powerful magic. It actually led to the destruction of the giant civilization.
Well, I assume none of this will make it back to Mad Maggie or anyone else's ears.
Oh no, this place is completely private. All of the tables are specifically surrounded by fields that prevent sound from traveling between the tables. So, and it's very well warded against divination spells or even mundane recording devices. And so there's no fear that anything said here is going to go anywhere beyond here. Only if Mad Maggie were actually at this table would she be able to hear what's going on.
Mad Maggie doesn't need to be here. We're all here. we won't always be here.
Right.
Some people
issue-
might talk. I don't know.
Right. That was part of my concern too, that I assume you don't share customers' business with other customers.
Oh no, very strict confidentiality clause. Anytime anybody enters into here, they are implicitly agreeing to all of the rules of this place, and there are very severe consequences for those that don't follow the rules. So everybody is bound to those rules, including myself.
Don't you, isn't this sort of your realm? Don't you make the rules in this realm?
Yeah.
So then these rules are only binding on you to the extent you want to follow them.
Yes and no. Could I break a rule? Sure. But if I were to do that, then my reputation would be destroyed. And that's not something that you can get back. I've built this place on a very, very firm foundation of renown and reputation. And it's not something I'm willing to throw away.
I mean, that's fair though. Given that this is one of the only safe refuges in Fernia, or at least accessible from Fernia, even if you had a reputation as somewhat of a gossip, I feel like people would still come here. They might not share information as freely with you, but I think they would still patronize your establishment.
Yeah, but it's really important for me to cultivate a sense of real safety. People can't feel safe if they can't feel free to talk openly about what they need to talk about.
Well, then, what I believe to be the bigger issue with the crown is that Belshalor, I believe you probably know, is trying to get to the material plane from Fernia. And the crown is also, in addition to freeing their former friend from Dalcor, Belshalor is looking for the crown as part of a ritual that will help him accomplish whatever his plan is to eventually dominate the material world.
Well, I wasn't aware of that. But if Belshalor is looking for the crown, I don't know what he would use it for. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure how the crown would fit into his plans.
Well, if it is an anchor of dimensions, you know, it, having
Well, it's
control
not
of
an anchor of dimensions. It's an anchor within the dimension that it's in. So it resonates with the other crowns that are spread across the multiverse, and creates a sort of connection.
presumably if you have access to one of them, you could have some sort of at least feeling of where another one might be in a different dimension.
Truth is, we don't
But
really know what the ritual is Belshalor wants to use it for, just that he's seeking it, or his minions at least are seeking it. I imagine if it can pull their friend out of Dalcor, then probably some sort of similar ritual would be used by Belshalor to pull him out of Fernia. But we don't even really know if the crown has, we surmise it must be magical, but if it has powers that are accessible to any one of us, we are not aware of them. It may be completely useless to us, but we know it's useful to Belshalor, and we need to stop him from completing his ritual.
Well, but Belshazzar is not in Fernia.
Well, his
All
minions are in Fernia.
Yeah, I mean, the minions of many overlords are spread across Fernia. I mean, who do you think the warlord bands work for? Each of them is tied to their own individual overlord that they serve. For example, the one that Mad Maggie mentioned, Archon the Cruel, he serves Tiamat. And then Mad Maggie herself, she actually serves one of the overlords as well, though I forget which one. So if you are working to prevent Belshalor from escaping his prison, then that might be why she's wanting you guys to succeed, because the nature of the prisons of overlords, from my understanding, is that they each have a unique key in a sense, and the key for one could create an additional lock for another.
So it seems likely the crown has something to do with that, freeing Belshalor from his prison. Although I thought that's what he was using Jayla Duran for. Perhaps she's just another piece of the same ritual.
Who's Jayla Duran?
He's the high priest of the Church of the Silver Flame.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about. But well, I feel like I've talked to your guys' ears off enough. Did you guys want to partake in any of the services?
I think we just
Spa
need
or
to sleep.
okay. All right, I will set you up with a very nice room. And then it will include a meal and drinks, and but you know, I just because if you guys want to get comped, I just need you guys to sign this. And he produces a document to sign.
Blade is going to read the fine print.
Yeah. Yeah, take your time, read it. Basically, it just says that I will comp your rooms.
Pretty boilerplate.
Yeah, it's boilerplate. I'll comp your rooms, and then you will complete the task of taking care of Wilfred. And if you don't, then you will be on the hook for the cost of your stay here. To which, if you don't pay, you sacrifice your souls.
To who exactly?
That's pretty
Just
boilerplate.
curious. Does it say where does it say that in the fucking document? What's the name of that guy?
Right here. Oh, I mean, you'd be sacrificing your souls to me. Hey, it's not. I didn't make the economy, but the souls are what make this place go around. And
You considered moving someplace else?
it's nice here.
disagree. You're not out there.
Well, anyways, like I said, I gotta protect myself, my establishment. I gotta get paid. I can't allow any kind of reputation of weakness. And so if I agree to comp these things in exchange for a service, then I need to make sure that you'll uphold your end of the bargain, or you will pay the debt. And if you don't pay the debt, then I will collect in another way. Look, I don't want to take your guys' souls. I like you guys,
We
but
haven't
I
had a
mean,
chance to properly survey the site. Like this might, under our professional opinions, require more than a night, you know?
well, I don't work often on contingency. I'm willing to agree to comp your room if you sign this document. Otherwise, you need to pay up front.
We can take care of it. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blade's just like, because he's also got 2 levels of exhaustion.
It felt fun for a second to argue. It's fine.
Hey, if you guys aren't comfortable, I mean, you don't need to sign, and you know, you could maybe try your luck at the other end. Wars go.
Don't be ridiculous, Master Hawkins.
I would just lean over to Blade and say, you do realize that one night of sleep is not going to completely restore you, right? You're going to need at least like 2 or 3 nights to sleep before you'll feel yourself again.
It'll be better than no nights of sleep.
What if the job requires more than 1 day?
I imagine that we'll be traveling there and then back. I don't assume we're going to make it to the harpoon in like an hour.
What? Wait. I'm lost. I mean, all you need to do is walk outside the Wandering Emporium, and then I'll command Wilfred to rise, and then you guys will be right there.
And if it's just if the harpoon's too big and Ewan's arms are just not able to arrest it free, we'll just pay the price and go get the meatloaf dinner or something. That's what you eat, right? Meatloaf dinners.
Yes.
Some people.
That's what we eat every night.
Sometimes with bacon.
Humans.
Just to remind everybody, typical cost of services here at the 7 Golden Seals is 1 soul coin per night for a standard room. Spa services and other carnal pleasures are available to be cared for at additional upcharges. So keep that in mind.
Out of character, we did consider previously the possibility of just working off the debt. But I'm not even sure that there's like a minimum wage that Master Hawkins pays his employees. So we did not take that route.
Actually, you would know something relevant to this. I'll say.
I mean, it's ultimately your soul coins. I will still whispering to Blade. But who's to say you can't negotiate for 2 nights rather than 1?
I just figured we could. But
Or we could always just take care of the harpoon first, then have our night here.
You and I just sent you a message.
I mean, I could
Think about
watch. I could watch you take it out. I'm. I don't know how useful I will be in actually removing this.
I
And
mean, we haven't seen it yet, but all right. Let's just turn to Hawkins and says, all right, so what if we haven't seen the thing yet? We don't know what we're even getting into. What if during the process of removing this thing, we are strained to a capacity so as to completely negate the benefits of even staying here?
How would that happen?
Again, I don't know. We haven't seen it. We don't know what we're getting into.
I mean,
I'm not
if
saying
you
it's.
are
I'm not
no,
saying
but
we're going to be strained, but
if
just
you're
in case.
if you are contracted to work for me, even for a minor task, then you also become insured under my the various
workers comp.
yeah, workers' comp insurance.
interesting.
Work for a wealthy family. We don't even get that.
So yeah, if you're injured in the course of working for me, you'll be taken care of.
You have the means to provide a little, I mean, healing for us, and we can get working on this right away for you, compared to spending nights and having to try to recuperate. And I mean, for us to perform at our best, we need to be at our best. And you can clearly see all of us, we are not.
It's probably still some dried blood on the side of his mouth. And fucking, he's scarred. He's
Yeah,
like
you're probably still covered in
mangled.
acid. Yeah.
I mean,
I did forget about that. It's
Fucking-
hideous.
all my hair is
hideous.
gone.
The tubes are gone.
What
No
was that?
eye,
What
no
was that movie?
eyebrows.
You probably look like Toxic Avenger. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about as strong as him too.
well, look, I like you guys. I mean, a couple of you remind me of my boys. You remind me of my son Ben. Branded one, you kind of got an air like Art and Blade. You're exactly my boy Brian. Like, I can kind of sense it in you guys. So I will put you in a very special room that will enhance your natural healing ability, and then the food and drink will further aid in that process.
It's very accommodating of you. Thank you.
That is good. Brian, I'm like,
Yeah, he's a really excellent businessman, like very successful. And you're a real rough and tumble like Ben. He really likes to get into it, the rough and tumble. And Branded one, you seem a bit paranoid.
Conspiracy theorist.
well, look, I'm not gonna. It sounds good to me. I'm ready to go to this room and oil up.
Okay. Would you guys like anything before you head to your rooms? Would you like to take your meal in the room or out here, or what would you like?
I think we'll just go to our room.
Okay.
I'll take
Very
my
well.
meal out here.
Okay. So Master Hawkins dings a bell. You don't know where he pulled the bell out. He just suddenly has a bell.
Whoa.
And and a very attractive woman comes over, and he says, "Jen, show these fine people to their room. Give them the presidential suite."
Presidential.
And then for you, Melodia, I will make sure that the chef prepares what you like. Jen, can you get a menu? And she bows and says yes, and produces a menu from her back, and then hands it to Melodia. Will your pet also be joining you out here?
Not quite yet. I'm gonna have to eat a little bit first, and then I was gonna. Do you have is Master Hawkins still here?
Is Pantone dead?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Pantone's not.
Oh,
not
okay. So
I need an
never
hour.
mind.
Yeah,
I thought
way to bring that
Pantone
up.
was-
It's still very sore.
So then, yeah, Master Hawkins wouldn't mention anything about
Yeah.
Pantone then.
So I before I rest, I'm doing that though.
By the way, how long is the contract? Because Blade was reading the whole thing.
So the essentially the contract is just to provide the service within a reasonable time frame.
No, I meant the physical length of the contract. Like how many
Oh.
pages?
It is a bit long, but probably only like 2 feet unrolled.
It doesn't matter to Vegnog or to Blade. He's like a like a multi-feed scanner, you know?
Yeah, he just sticks it in his mouth.
You see lights.
Yeah.
You don't want to know where it comes out.
So before Master Hawkins
his
would
armpit.
send any of you guys to your rooms and everything, he would have each of you sign the document first. But Blade, if you want, you can do an investigation check if you want after having read the contract over.
I would. Just because I haven't rolled anything yet. That's a 17 because I'm at disadvantage.
Yeah, so as you read over the contract, it really does seem like standard language. It is there's no like surprises or anything within it. It's not like and it does include the provisions of the insurance for injury or death or dismemberment should that occur in the course of your regular duties as assigned. So you're pretty confident that it's a well-written contract and it is fair.
Blade puts the document down. He's like, "This is bulletproof."
I mean, my father was a union president, so workers' comp is great. Like, you could just claim like all these acid burns just happened on the job, and then
So once
I got-
everybody signs,
yeah.
Master Hawkins would show you guys all to your rooms. And Melodia, you would have a menu in front of you. You would notice that the menu strangely has all of the things that you seem to be craving. All of the foods and desserts and drinks.
Awesome. It sounds fantastic.
I'm gonna stay out with Melodia.
Okay. And then
I am not signing a contract.
You're not?
No.
Okay. So Master Hawkins would say, well, Bucks, you're free to not sign the contract, but you have to pay for your stay if you're gonna join your friends.
Fair enough.
So that'll be 1 soul coin for a standard room. If you wanted to join your friends in the presidential suite, you'd need to pay 3 soul coins. And then also that comes with 1 meal.
There are other places to stay here, right?
Yeah. You don't have to stay at the 7 Golden Seals. There is another inn, and I think Ewan may have stayed there before.
Yeah, isn't that where I feel like that's where we got attacked?
No, we got attacked here.
Yeah. Which is why Master Hawkins was very sympathetic
Hmm.
and tried to make amends, because once
Yeah.
again, reputation is everything for him.
I mean, if Lux is staying at the other inn, then I can stay at the other inn. I've never been there, so I have no idea what it's like. I'm sure it's not as good as this place.
No, it's definitely not.
And I need the healing, so I'm signing the contract, staying here, having my meal. So
Because,
Okay.
by the way, if we wind up unable to free the harpoon, 3 soul coins a night per person, for all 5 of us is something we can't even afford to pay. So somebody has to give up their soul.
mm.
Only 3 of us can stay here and still pay the bill.
So I mean, obviously Ewan definitely needs health. I know that. I'm pretty sure Blade does. I'm pretty low. I don't know, how is everyone else?
I mean, everything I need, I can get back from a regular long rest.
Okay.
It's the levels of exhaustion that are the branded ones concern, because we
and-
have a task to do and everybody's going to be at disadvantage.
I could be wrong. I thought I remember hearing that the other place was very hot. That
Yeah,
you
Right.
might not
unlike
be able to
unlike
recover.
unlike this place and your vehicle, that inn is not temperature controlled. And oftentimes it doesn't need to be, because most of the people that are served by that inn are creatures that have resistance to heat or naturally found here in Fernia, native to this place. So if you tried to rest in there, and you didn't have any kind of resistance to fire, it could be difficult. Because you'll have to make those checks every hour.
Well, then I have to stay here because I don't have fire resistance. In which case we owe 12 soul coins and we don't have 12 soul coins.
I mean, when I get Pantone back, I can tough it out in the other one. I'm just gonna be on pretty low health for a while. I have 1 potion and some temporary hit points I can do, and that's about it.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
No.
What's the worst that can happen?
One of you has to give up your soul, or 3 of you.
I mean, Blade could handle it because he's got fire resistance.
Yeah, but I think you need the health more than I do.
Yeah, he more so needs the levels of exhaustion
Yeah.
addressed than the health.
I might be able to barter with mine. I don't know. It'll have to be argued for as I point to the. No, wait. Does Ewan have the? Yeah, Ewan has the marks on his head, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think about that. Your soul might not even count as currency. So it'll be the other three who have of us who have to give up our
Those
soul.
marks, but those marks faded.
Did they?
Oh yeah,
Did
yeah.
the
Oh, from the collateral, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, and you guys would remember this from your last stay, if you do decide to stay here for the night and eat the meal that comes with the stay, particularly for the presidential suite, not only will that heal all levels of exhaustion, but it would also give you the effects of a hero's feast.
How much is just a standard room is just 1 coin, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
which comes with a meal, and that is not
The hero feast, yeah.
hero's feast meal.
How about I just do that? How about I just go to a standard room? I'll get some minimal healing, which will be better than nothing. And then that should put us under, right? Because we have 11 soul coins.
11 and a
11
half?
and a half.
11 and a half. Okay.
I
The
mean,
half you can't really spend.
Yeah.
this is why we should have really negotiated this contract. We could have gotten like 2 nights in a standard room and still been sort of ahead. Instead of 1 night in a presidential suite.
The hell's a president?
Someone who presides, presumably.
Yeah, if you were asking that of Master Hawkins, he would say, well, president is a very powerful office. I ran for president once. It was pretty awesome. I
still
had a good
don't know
chance
what
of
this
winning,
means.
just didn't quite get there.
What is president? What does it do?
They're a leader. They're kind of like an
What?
like an elected monarch.
So didn't you win? Is this your president dumb?
I lost. But yeah, I did create this
Did
place, and
you
I kind of
really?
am. I'm the president of the Wandering Emporium.
So
So
you really didn't lose.
Oh, okay.
FYI, just a little bit of trivia. And in case you don't know this, Frank, but Master Hawkins is based off of my late father, and he honestly did run for president and was a write-in candidate in some states.
I was unaware of that. Okay.
Was
That's
he
pretty
like
fantastic.
written in by like a family member?
I don't know if he was that. Well, so for president, like in order to be a write-in candidate, you actually have to go through a process, like getting signatures and going through things. Like normally you can't just write in whoever you want for president.
Hmm. Nice.
Well, I mean, to keep it easy, I just say 1 person takes a standard room, and I mean that makes it simple.
So yeah, we have a couple codicils to your contract. Because we're afraid we will fail in the task of removing the harpoon, and then we don't want to be on the hook for all of us staying in the presidential suite when some of us would prefer a less expensive room, and then we can keep it in our budget if things go awry. In particular, Melodia and I would prefer to stay in a regular room for 1 soul coin a night for the night, rather than be in the presidential suite that costs 3 gold pieces a person a night.
Okay. I can accommodate that. And he snaps his finger, and the contract suddenly has an addendum that appears, indicating the changes, where you can sign, acknowledging
Just
them
sign
and
again.
agreeing to them.
So then now we're basically spending 8 soul coins for the night because you two will be in the presidential suite, assuming Lux doesn't change her mind. But you two will be in the presidential suite in Melodia, and Branded One will be in a regular room. And Lux will be on her own, I guess.
So during my time, my carousal time, the last time we had a chance to do that, did I learn of any other like safe places that aren't so warm, places that perhaps Lux could go?
Lux is resistance of fire.
Sure. Even still.
Nothing in the offered at the Wandering Emporium.
Not like there was no like friendly places.
We went to a
do you
tavern
mean?
once. We went to like a
Oh.
tavern.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, there's a tavern that's connected to that inn.
Yeah, I remember the tavern. We were attacked there too.
yeah. Yeah, because I think the party got attacked. Like everyone got attacked while they were in the Wandering Emporium, and then Ewan and Begnog at the time got attacked while they were carousing.
While they were there, they were at the inn at the Wandering Emporium.
Yeah.
Or the Seven Seals.
7 golden seals, yeah.
They were there while we went out to drink, or I went out to drink, and you you were just there to deal with something. I don't know. Gather information with me, I guess.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready to you know,
turn in yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't sleep, so it doesn't really matter for him. So
with
like
that,
what
with that,
Yeah.
I would sign the contract.
Yeah, same.
so Ewan, what kind of friendly place are you talking about? Like, what are you thinking of?
I don't know, somebody who's friendly to our cause.
There's the little elephant.
Yeah, Lulu is a big fan of you guys.
That's fair. Well, we all kind of could guess that, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I was just curious if maybe I had learned of any places that would, be friendly towards non-fiend. Maybe even little extra friendly.
I mean, there are certainly non-fiends that are both members of the Wandering Emporium and customers kind of passing through. This place isn't just fiends. I mean, fiends make up a good portion, but there's plenty of non-fiends as well. Like, for example, Ekamon is a human from Corvair. And then there's the turtle and the tabaxi that you guys encountered at the Charms and Harms.
I remember them. Can't stay there though. All right.
Yeah, in terms of places to stay, there's really only the 7 golden seals and the random inn.
Okay.
Oh, looks like I'm going to the random inn.
That's its name. The
Yep.
random inn. Jane. So while you two turn in, maybe we should just go and find where Melodia can buy arrows.
Seems like a
Well,
good idea.
everybody except, because this branded one, this is the first time for you to at the Wandering Emporium, right?
Mhm.
So everybody else would know the Charms and Harms is probably the best place to find weapons and ammunition.
We should probably get some supplies for our mission tomorrow. I can just imagine probably some ropes or whatever else we might think we might need to remove this spear from his calf. So
Maybe the tiny elephant.
Yeah, Lulu, I would say in addition to the demon ichor that he peddles in, and healing kits, he also has because I think that's where you bought them from.
Yeah, that's where Solomon bought them from.
Yeah, so he also kind of manages a general store, that where you would be able to get supplies.
And just from previous history, I think we probably need some ropes just in general. Maybe climbing gear, just we are descending a horrible mountain. But I think I that might be stuff for tomorrow morning. I don't know. I mean, is there, I know in Fernia it's always like perpetually duskish. Is there time here or is this like similar?
No, I mean this isn't. I mean, well, okay. The Seven Golden Seals itself is
Mhm.
really more of a demiplane.
Okay. Fine.
But the everything outside of that within the Wandering Emporium is just within Fernia.
Okay, got it. Okay, I mean, if we're all good, I'm gonna sit down, have my meal, and go summon Pantone and go take a sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go have my meal in the room and then go to sleep.
Okay. So Ewan and Blade, when you guys go ahead and decide to rest and eat, you guys can remove all of your exhaustion and also get the benefits of a hero's feast.
This is why we were discussing staying at the other inn and then staying here on the second night when we were ready to go back, because some of the benefits, like the 2d10 extra hit points that you add to your maximum for 24 hours, might wind up being a little wasted on dealing with a harpoon.
I have a sneaking suspicion they might not be wasted on this, but we'll see.
And that's 1 or 2d10.
2d10.
Amazing.
So Blade, in addition to everything, you heal all of your exhaustion and you gain the benefits of a hero's feast. So you're
Nice.
immune to the poison condition and being frightened for 24 hours, and you have advantage on your wisdom saving throws, and your maximum hit points temporarily increased by 2d10.
Let's see what that means. It's better than a stick in the eye. Okay.
And then, so Lux, you're going to the inn?
The random inn, yeah.
Yeah, the random inn. That's the official name now. So you go and you are greeted by it looks like a gnome, but she's like her skin is like a very deep crimson color, and it almost looks like there are flames licking up at the back of her mouth when she talks. And she says, "Welcome to the Random Inn. Can I interest you in a room?"
Yes.
Okay. And what currency or items of value do you have to trade? We prefer soul coins, but we'll accept others to an extent.
I pull out Belnog's feather that, of course, doesn't summon him anymore, but I still have because it did not disintegrate, and offer that trade.
So you want to trade a rock feather for an
Yeah.
is it special in some way?
Of course it is. Just look at it.
It looks like a rock feather.
It's Belganog's rock feather.
And who's Belganog?
I see this isn't going anywhere.
I mean, I'm willing to consider anything that you might have that you think is valuable, but I have to understand the value. I mean, rock feathers, they're not really rare or valuable here in Fernia. They're kind of all over if you know where to find them.
I take out a golden ring that I got off the Zorn Elder and put it on the counter.
And given the size of the Zorn leader's fingers, it is a pretty hefty ring. And the innkeeper eyes it and slides it over and says, "That'll do."
That's good for that'll get you 2 nights with evening dinner. Dinner's not fancy. It's just whatever we happen to have for that day. Today it's stew. Abyssal chicken stew. If you'd like anything to drink, that'll be extra.
Safe to drink the water.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
So you want a water? And what will you be trading for the water?
Takes out the rock feather.
I produce a second golden ring because I do have 5.
Okay.
Sparkling water it is.
Uh, with this, we can open a drink tab, and we'll let you know when you're getting close to your limit.
Okay.
Obviously, it depends on what you get. Water is a bit more expensive. Ale and spirits are a bit cheaper.
We'll start with the water.
All right. So the red gnome goes over to a different counter, kind of waving you over where the bar is, and produces a jug where she pours it out. The water is incredibly hot. It's not like boiling or anything, but it is hot.
Right.
And it has a slight brown tinge to it.
All right. All right. Need my room key.
She gives you the room key and tells you where your room is. And she says, dinner is served in an hour.
Very well.
There's no room service, by the way. You have to come to the common area.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your stay at the Random Inn.
Okay, I'll go to my room.
All right. It's very sparse. The bed is it's okay. It's lumpy, but it's sufficient for you to sleep. There are no blankets, there is no pillow. Which blankets thing isn't really a big deal. And there's no windows. And yeah, there's no real decorations or anything, though there is a like a box where you can put your belongings if you so chose.
Did anyone leave anything behind?
You see a couple of dead like insect-like creatures in there.
Okay. That's protein. And there's only one entrance exit would be this door, I assume.
Yeah,
Is there any other piece of furniture other than the bed
no.
and the box?
You do get the sense that most people that use this room really do so only to sleep, since the Wandering Emporium offers so many different types of merchants and services that most people spend their awake time kind of carousing the Wandering Emporium. So that would explain some of the Spartan nature of the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out one of my darts that I never use and like wedge it into the door so it's not as easy for somebody, when they try to come breaking in. They can't do that.
Okay. Do you
You could just pull the whole bed over right up against the door.
Yeah.
could do that? Um, with that, are you proficient in sleight of hand or thieves' tools?
I have thieves tools, but I don't think I'm proficient with them. I'm proficient with painter's supplies. Stick a paintbrush in there.
What about sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand now.
Okay. Um, go ahead and give me a dexterity check to see how well you wedge it into the door.
Do you want sleight of hand check or dexterity?
They're the same if you don't have proficiency, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you stick the dart in.
All right. I will sit on the floor and sort of try to meditate for what I would think would be an hour and then get up and go get stew. What portion of him is being served?
Um, so you get roughly an hour passes. As you have some of so the stew is just in a big pot and people are just kind of walking over, grabbing a bowl that's not too far away from the pot, and then the innkeeper is just kind of plopping it in. It looks to be fairly thick and brown in color. Uh, it does smell pretty good, and you can see uh, hunks of meat and vegetables that you don't really recognize.
Um, did that 1 hour count as a short rest?
You could count it as a short rest if you want. You guys have one more short rest for the day, so.
Oh, okay. I don't want to just do it. No, I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, yeah, I'll just get my stew. I'll just kind of examine it to see if it's really this abyssal chicken or somebody that just, didn't pay up.
Are you proficient in medicine?
Hell no.
What about survival?
Nope.
Okay, just give me a wisdom check.
Eesh.
Do you have exhaustion?
Yep.
Okay. So you kind of suspect that it may be like, it doesn't look like chicken, but you don't really know enough to tell what it looks like.
Okay, well, I guess I'll find out if it tastes like chicken.
So it does taste fairly good, or at least passable. It's not causing you to gag.
Okay.
And so it does have some flavors in there that are very strange for your palate, but once again, not necessarily unpleasant, just kind of strange and uh, difficult to wrap your head around.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We've been eating nondescript food for who knows how long. So I think
Right? But also, this is like some of the first food she's had when not high.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but if
Um,
we've been eating rations, they've probably been dried, whatever.
mhm. Yeah, like jerkies and nuts and dried berries.
Yeah, I've been pretty good about keeping a spell slot free for create food and water. So I assume we've been, especially for the water, been using a lot of that.
Yeah.
So water and communion waivers.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, you eat in peace. Nobody really bothers you. You see, there are some people that are kind of like milling about, or a couple of groups that are conversing, but everybody kind of leaves you alone.
All right. And then
Um,
once I've, had whatever amount, I will head back to the room.
okay. Um,
Ewan's just passed out in a hot tub.
yeah, Master Hawkins has those, and the presidential suite definitely would have that. Um,
I just
so
wonder, what does it feel like after your acid burns to be like, I'm gonna get in the hot tub?
I was healed.
yeah, so I will say that your skin looks better. Um, you're still very badly scarred though. Like I said before, you can kind of determine the nature of it and what it looks like, but um you're gonna carry the marks of that acid bath um for a long time, if not the rest of your life. But your hair is kind of wisping back in place. It's
That's what's
it's
important.
it's just like peach fuzz right now, but it is growing mostly. There are patches that are not so thick as they once used to be.
The luminous tubes are just 5 foot radius dim light.
So for everybody, the evening passes pretty uneventfully. There's no attacks, there's no uh instances of distress. It's pretty pleasant actually, especially compared to what you've been used to over the last few days.
Is there a like I know I asked before, is there like a vague, even just I've no, me personally, I have no sense of time with where we are here. Like, is this midday that we're at the Wandering Emporium, the Seven Gates? Is this end of day? Is there time? Do shops close at a certain time? I mean, are they open 24/7? Do like people still just walking around, or is it like,
Yeah, so within the seven golden seals, there are a few different timekeeping pieces that seem to relate to different places, because they're different methods of keeping time. Um, but you are familiar with one of them that kind of helps you know, at least compared to what you're used to in Corvair, that day night cycle. Um, and so like you can tell when it's kind of evening versus morning versus afternoon. In terms of uh the places that would be open and everything, it really depends on the establishment. There might be some that are 24/7 because they're operated by creatures that don't need to sleep. Others might, be open at different times depending on that creature's natural day-night cycle.
Okay. And then do I see Master Hawkins around anywhere?
Not while you're in your room.
Okay. Um, give me 1 second.
Actually, let's take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
I'm here. You're good.
All right, so everybody manages to get a full rest in, and everybody is completely healed of everything.
Yeah, just before I did that, I resummoned Pantone just because I have to expend a spell slot to do that. So
Okay. So yeah, you summon Pantone, no problem. Are you going to maintain her fire?
yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys do next? Now that you've rested, you've been fed, some of you have enjoyed some amenities.
I think we should probably try to get some supplies for our immediate task and then also for our longer task. I think we need both. For potentially
I see you've taken the scars to heart. Sorry, what were you saying, Frank?
I'm thinking we probably need to get, I mean, I feel that once we're on the ground trying to remove this spear, I feel we should have what we think supplies we probably need versus having to try to go back and up top and trying to figure out, oh God, we actually needed a grappling hook and some ropes or something. So I feel we should probably try to, I don't know, get some supplies we think we might need for this and get this done as quickly and reasonably as we can.
Yeah, we need to start looking at this thing.
Okay. So as you guys are getting up and walking out of your rooms to like the more common area, except for Lux, who is at the other end, Master Hawkins is there. He seems like he may have been even waiting for you. And as he sees you, he says, "Hey guys, how's it going? Anybody want a sody or a little Debbie's?" No?
Sure, I'll take
Yes.
another one. Yeah.
Okay. So he hands you a sody and a little
It's
Debbie's.
just delicious. These are really good. I don't know where you get these from, but they're got
Oh, I
something.
made a special pack that I could just make as many as I want. I just pull them out.
That's pretty fantastic. Hey, you should sell these. You imagine? Yeah, I think you corner the market here.
I thought about it, but it takes a lot of work to make one of these things.
Yeah.
Anyways,
They're good though. They're good.
thank you. So you guys ready to check out Wilfred?
We were gonna go buy supplies for things that we might need to heal Wilfred or help us remove the harpoon.
Before you do that, why don't you check it out? That way you guys can kind of assess and see what you might need.
This is a good idea.
All right. You guys, you're missing Lux. So do you want to go and get her, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll go get her.
Is she gonna come here, meet you guys? What was the plan?
I assumed she would return here in the morning, but
We collectively all went our own ways without making a plan.
I'll go
Lux,
to the
is
other
there
one.
meanwhile, she didn't check in under her name, and we don't know what room she's in. And she may or may not be suffering from abyssal chicken's revenge.
Lux, was there anything that you were gonna do when you woke up?
Was breakfast included or no?
No.
Okay, but I still got water on tab, so I'll make sure I get some water.
Okay. Just like before, it's hot and a bit brown. Tastes a little metallic.
And then is there food being served?
No.
Okay. I guess if I would go and drink my water in like the common area, because I'm sure there's like a common area, just
Mm-hmm.
listening to, just sitting there sipping my water, just listening to various discussions, anything interesting like that would pertain to us. Like anybody talking about Maggie being around, or were there a bunch of red caps in here?
There are no red caps.
Okay.
The red caps are all very much enjoying their time with Mad Maggie. Whatever that might mean.
Yeah, it's probably more I need to know. So
Why I didn't get in the hot tub.
Really quick, what do I heal from a night's rest?
Everything.
Oh, full. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All of your hit points and 1 level of exhaustion, and you regain half your level of hit dice.
Oh, okay. That's what I meant. Half level hit dice. Okay.
Although those of you that were in the presidential suite heal all of your hit dice.
And do I round up or down?
I think that's one of the few things that goes up.
Yeah.
I think. Man,
I thought you round down, but
yeah, that one actually might be down. There's like
Alright,
a couple of random things that go up.
Sorry, I was looking through the rules for a while. I couldn't find it.
There's a fighter feature that goes up. Like random one.
It actually doesn't say. It just says half your character's total hit die.
Okay.
And then it gives
If
an
it doesn't-
example where somebody
if it doesn't
has 8.
specify, if it doesn't specify, you round down.
Okay.
I would say being in the 7 golden seals, you can round up.
Okay, but generally, if you're not there, run down.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, that's good because that means I'm back at full hit dice then.
So Lux, give me a perception check.
I would also say like Master Hawkins was talking about like these attacks or whatever that happened like to Wilfred, and so
Mhm.
kind of like just listening out, see if I hear anything.
Okay. Yeah, so you actually do hear a couple of things, mostly about the attacks. You hear that basically you get the sense that attacks happen every so often, but this was the first time where they actually managed to wound Wilfred, and also they talk about the Duke, and that normally when they see the Duke in action, it is like
is one of the most frightening sights because the Duke is so vicious and complete in the devastation he wroughts against those that he fights. But this time, not only did they have this siege weapon with the very strong loading mechanism for harpoons, massive harpoons, but also they had explosive weapons that actually managed to destroy one of the Duke's arms, which they've never even seen a scratch on the Duke before. So and it got to the point where Master Hawkins actually had he seemed like he did something, although it also was really, they say that it was really hard to focus on him. Like it was almost like he was just outside of their field of view all of a sudden. Like whenever they could never look directly at him while he was doing whatever he was doing, but he had to take action for the first time ever against the warlords. And they didn't even get destroyed. They actually just were able to run away, with most of them surviving.
Okay. So Master Hawkins actually had to take action against the warlords.
Yeah, but nobody could say, like there's conflicting accounts, or like some people are saying Master Hawkins went in like a badass with like raising his weapons and charging into battle. Others say that he wielded like really powerful magic and just like peppered them all. Others say that he kind of darted in and out with very precise strikes against each person that he attacked. Nobody can agree on what he did, and a lot of the arguments, a lot of what you're hearing are arguments about one person saying no, he did this, and another person saying no, he did this, and then other people saying how could you even see him, like it was so hard to focus. So around that there's a lot of talk, but nobody
Okay.
can agree.
Okay, nobody can agree on his method, but he did so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So within a few minutes, Ewan appears in the lobby. Ewan, you immediately see Lux where she's sitting.
So I just approached Lux's table. You gonna help out on this specific endeavor, or what you got?
Yeah, I mean, if you need me to help you.
I mean, never hurts to have a extra pair of eyes and senses to examine the issue. We haven't gone out yet.
We need to, if we can get this, whatever this harpoon is, we need to thoroughly examine it, maybe glean some information from it.
Yeah, seems like a good idea. Let's go have a look.
All right.
Head back.
So you guys head back. Master Hawkins is waiting for you guys. And he says, so you guys ready to go see Wilfred's leg?
Yes, I believe so.
Excellent.
It's not gonna like move on us, right? Just keep them
No,
still.
no. Well, we're gonna walk outside of the Emporium, and then I'll let Wilfred know to stand. So, you guys follow Master Hawkins beyond the edges of the town that is the Wandering Emporium. and go even a couple 100 yards beyond that. And then Master Hawkins whistles, and it is I don't know if you guys had actually seen this happen before, but it is a really amazing sight to see Wilfred rise out of the ground, and how quickly and gracefully he does it, and all of the dirt and ash that's falling off of him. And Frank, for your benefit, I'm gonna
Oh no,
show Wilfred.
I was looking at him earlier. Yeah.
So that's what Wilfred looks like.
And the Emporium's on his back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In his back leg, probably about a dozen feet off the ground, you can see a massive harpoon, like a telephone pole, sticking out. And there's the main point, but there's also surrounding that point like a claw, like one of those claw machine claws that have also pierced into his skin. You can also see that there was a chain that had been attached to the back of the harpoon, but the chain had broken. The wound is there's a good deal of dried blood around the wound, and you can kind of see some of the pink meat below Wilfred's hide showing.
So there's the center spear, and then there's the claw outside, also into the flesh. How
Mhm.
many claw hooks? Is like 3 or 4 or
5.
5? Okay.
Are all 5 in the meat?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like the claws made of metal or?
It does. It looks like a metal very similar to well, it's interesting because as you look closer at it, you realize that there are veins of various different colors, which and could be different materials, kind of um, going, kind of flowing around the length of the harpoon. So it does appear and feel like metal, but what kind of metal, you don't know.
So I turn to Master Hawkins and I say, are we as safe as we can be here? Like, I want to make sure we're not Wilfred's not attacked while we're operating and trying to remove this. Are the warlords, you disbanded them, or at least we're in a safe enough area to do this?
Yeah, I don't think the warlords are gonna be popping by.
Okay.
I doubt it. I mean,
Okay.
they definitely had more of an edge than they usually do, but still they got trounced pretty bad.
Okay.
I mean, I made sure I kicked the shit out of them as much as I could. So
Looking at the spear, is there like some kind of, is there like a mechanism or anything on the where the claws come out? So I'm assuming it doesn't shoot with the claws extended. I'm guessing it sort of
yeah,
grapples when it hits.
yeah. So that's a interesting thing to notice, is that there are grooves behind the claws that kind of match the width where they would kind of emerge from. So based on that, you're guessing probably either mid-flight or as part of the impact, these kind of sprung out. But you don't see any clear mechanism that would have powered that motion.
Okay.
Luckily, I imagined, even from the scant details, that the spear would look something like this. Enormous. I wasn't expecting the claws, however.
If we could pull off the claws, probably come out a lot easier.
I was imagining we were going to need a lot of force to pull the harpoon out. So I did think about that this morning.
We
How,
still-
if I had to guess what the weight of the whole harpoon is, like how much weight do we have to shift? Ignoring the claws for a second, although they're part of it,
Yeah, let's see.
because I prepared telekinesis because I was afraid of something like this.
Uh, let's
Actually, and I was thinking I probably should, like, for us going forward, start preparing greater restoration. But that does require diamond dust.
We could probably find some.
And even then, it's it'll be like a one level of exhaustion a day thing that I can negate.
Hmm.
let's see. So it's hard to say, but very heavy. I mean, it's solid metal. It's probably at least a foot in diameter.
So then it's more than what telekinesis can manipulate clearly, but I could apply 1,000 pounds of force,
Yeah.
and then we just need to figure out how to shift the rest of the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Could I do like a heal check or something, try to get an idea how deep this is embedded?
Yeah, I was going to
Um,
say that the two, everybody who's engaged or who's proficient in medicine should probably confer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
last time we did that, we tried pulling someone out of a wall, though. So I mean,
Well, that's just because
Um,
we rolled poorly, but we were still the trained ones. I will help you assess the wound if you like,
no,
since we're both trained. You can have advantage on the roll.
just roll medicine.
yeah. So what specifically are you looking for?
I'm trying to get an idea how deep the spear is into the calf, I think you said, or
Mhm.
thigh. How far the I guess, yeah, if I'm getting a sense of how far the main spear is, and also if the hooks are just,
Mhm.
I'm assuming they also are like constricting around the center spike, but I'm assuming
Yeah.
if I can get an idea how deep it is into the flesh, that's basically what I'm looking at.
So it's hard to say for certain. But given Wilfred's size and the fact that despite how heavy this thing is, it's just poking straight out of him without like leaning or anything. Um, it's probably fairly deep, although you can't really say for certain how deep
Okay.
without being able to see beneath his flesh. But also just kind of if you were to ask Master Hawkins about Wilfred's anatomy, his flesh is really has like the hardness and density of some of the harder minerals. Um, so it in order to embed into his flesh, that given that might help explain some of the structural stability where the harpoon isn't necessarily leaning.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned that if we remove the hooks, it could wind up making this harpoon shift, and that might cause Wilfred some either additional damage or outright pain.
Yeah,
But we will have to remove the hooks to remove the harpoon.
yeah, I'm sort of. I mean, does anyone have any ideas? I have a part of an idea, but not much.
Well,
And
I can use telekinesis to begin trying to remove the hooks.
yeah,
As
I mean, I'm sort of thinking we try to essentially tie down the spear part and have Wilfred basically move forward to pull it out, but we need to get the hooks out essentially. So I mean, if we can anchor it behind him, I don't know with what. That's the problem. We would need a lot of chain or something, which I don't know we have. Because I don't think there's any way we can feasibly lift or move that. So, I mean, you said your telekinesis does 1,000.
yes,
Okay.
Well, I mean, how about we could potentially. How long is your telekinesis work for?
10 minutes.
So like, we perhaps maybe have to move rapidly. I don't know. We'll have to see when we get to that point, but you could perhaps support it after we get the hooks out of it. It's held up on one side, so theoretically at least half of the weight is being held there. So you just have to hold up the other end to prevent it from pivoting out and doing damage. Then, instead of Wilfred moving, perhaps we could borrow a war machine from the town. Use it to just pull it out.
I mean, that could work too. Still
I don't
comes
know.
down to so looking at this thing, does it look like if we, could attach chains or ropes or a tow cable or something? Is there like a place where we could attach these things, or would it be hard? Is it basically just a smooth telephone pole?
No, so once again, there are the grooves that likely fit the prongs around
Right.
the central spear.
And so
Um,
when we pull the prongs back and out, that might provide us with essentially hooks to put a
mhm.
chain around.
But also there is a bit of chain hanging behind it. There's like a hole in the back of the harpoon that the chain was kind of running through. And so like the chain is broken, but you could attach additional chains to that or attempt to anchor them to that hole.
So yeah, if the town has some sort of infernal machine, maybe we can remove it that way.
We just need to
Or
borrow
we,
one.
yeah, or we find a way to secure the chain against something heavy and have Wilfred start moving away, like yanking a tooth.
Um,
Yanking a tooth.
Branded one, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. Okay. So you do sense that there is likely some magic at play, and the magic is likely still active. And you gather that based on the design of the prongs, the claws, those, because there's no clear mechanism that would have caused them to spring out or to be holding them in place. You imagine that it was probably magic that caused them to do so.
The hooks may be magical, in which case they may not be as easy to pull back as they were, as you might expect. Although we could try dispelling the magic first.
I think that might be our best hope, honestly.
It's reasonable.
So I would suggest we figure out how we're going to pull the spear out. Which means seeing if people have some sort of infernal machine that we could use.
I mean,
Otherwise we'll have to come up with a backup plan for getting the spear out.
yeah, and I don't think I have any way to figure this out. If that's a barbed spear, that's going to prove a lot more difficult.
Painful.
Yeah.
But there's not much choice.
I turned to Master Hawkins. Do you happen to know if this was barbed?
No clue.
Okay.
I
mean, I suppose we could climb up there and investigate the site of the wound itself where it penetrates in more closely. I mean, the wound is huge. We could even reach in, feel around.
You said it's about 12 feet up, you said, I think?
Yeah.
He's furry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could climb Wilfred.
Yeah, I'm thinking climbing up and just getting a close look at the wound. See if there's anything more I can gather from the entry point.
Okay. So I imagine that you'll need to like Kurt said, kind of stick your hand in.
Okay.
In which case it's harder for the branded one to offer aid to you. And so you wouldn't have advantage. And also I'm going to say you're gonna use medicine, but you'll need to have strength be the modifier, since your ability to move that flesh out of the way is going to be a necessary component to get a good sense of what's going on inside.
Okay. So how do I do that? Just click medicine and
So it's not as easy in Roll20 to do something like that. Do you have any strength-based proficiencies? Like, are you proficient in athletics?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you could just roll athletics because it should be the same modifier as what you'd have for medicine, but swapping strength for wisdom.
Okay.
Okay. So you get your hand in there. It is very tough moving anything around because his flesh is incredibly dense. But you do get your hand in there. From the limited amount that you can move it around, you don't feel any barbs.
Okay. Okay. While I'm up there, I'm gonna take a quick look at the hooks as well. See if I can see anything interesting or anything of note of those. Besides the main entry points. Do I roll another medicine, or is there anything I just see, or?
No, I would say that the medicine check for the previous one would be good enough to know. So investigating those wounds, you don't see or feel any barbs on them either.
Okay. So I climb back down from the fur of his calf, and I let everyone know that from the best I can feel, I don't think there are any barbs on the hooks or the main spear. So if we can get those open, it should be relatively painless getting this thing out. So that's a good thing, but we still need to figure out how we're doing that.
Was Master Hawkins still with us?
Yeah.
So the hard part will probably be, we hope, just extracting the spear, as obviously it's extremely heavy. We're gonna need to hook something up to the back end of it, either to anchor it so that Wilfred could pull his leg forward and free it that way, or get something heavy like a war machine to essentially just tow it out. Does the town have a war machine we could borrow, as ours did not come with us?
Yeah, Tallow probably has a war machine in her garage. I don't know if it's functional, since she's a mechanic, but certainly worth a try.
I mean, even if it barely drives, if we can get it here, it may be enough of a weight that if Wilfred starts walking away and the thing is anchored to the war machine, that it will come out once we get the hooks out, that is.
Yeah, we can go and check with Tallow.
Makes
I
sense.
did, yeah, I think we should do that before we begin. Some of what I expect I'm going to have to do is only going to last about 10 minutes. So I want to make sure we have everything set up before I start that process.
Okay. So should I call Wilfred down now?
Yeah, I think we can go talk to Tallow.
Okay. So he whistles again, and once again with amazing speed, Wilfred is once again burrowed into the ground, and the the land, or the real estate where the Wandering Emporium sat, is now level with the ground as well, where you can't even see where Wilfred really is. And also he doesn't seem to displace any of the ground in his movements. So, just want to check in because I see a couple of people that are potentially owl bearing. How much more game do people have in them?
I'm good for a bit.
I mean, I can go a little while longer.
Yeah, I think we could probably make at least one attempt getting this thing out.
Okay. So you guys manage to go to Tallow's garage. Many of you are very familiar with Tallow's garage, since that is where you got all of the enhancements done for the your own demon grinder. And Tallow sees you and says, "Ah, it's you. How is everybody?"
Would
I see a few new faces. I have not met you. I am Tallow.
Nice to meet you. I'm Elodia. We might need your services. It's for the betterment of the city, so you could be.
I'll present her the contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am aware. Anytime Master Hawkins requires anything, all of us, his apprentices and his merchants and his artisans, we all jump to help him. He has done so much for us. It is the least we can do. What is it that you need?
We need some sort of infernal machine to help pull this giant harpoon out of the back of Wilfred's calf. We need something that essentially we can anchor to this spear and then hopefully drive off, pulling it free.
I have one functional war machine. The armor
is the integrity of the structure is a little off. Should be able to pull a harpoon, but also could shake to pieces in the process. So you should be aware of the risk, but the war machine, the customer, I will work with them if for some reason they are unhappy with the condition of it once it has served your purposes.
It works.
Even if it doesn't, it's just heavy.
Well, very good. I shall load it with a soul coin to empower the engine. Would one of you care to drive, or should I drive it to the location?
Is it the same as ours?
Most war machines are similar in their layout of the mechanisms. Some have some differences, but they're should be good, fine. Quite
Doesn't seem like a
intuitive if you already know how to drive a war machine.
Then I think I'm good.
Very good. Here, I will just give you the soul coin. You can load it and start driving. Is there anything else that you need from me?
Chain. We'll need chain to bind to the spear.
Chain I have in great supply. Should be no problem. How much?
So yeah, judging from didn't have a clear picture of the terrain, so I'm not sure. More than 12 feet to get it up to where the spear was. But I don't know how much more than that we need.
Plenty of slack to make sure that the vehicle is firmly
Right.
on the ground.
Right, and ideally you want it to sort of be as close to horizontal as you can get it.
Yeah.
So a fair bit of chain, but then again, the longer the chain, the more likely it's just going to break.
Yeah. What was the terrain at like when we were out there? I mean, was it just flat or was there?
Yeah, it's flat. I mean,
Okay.
the terrain in Fernia is most often just flat ash,
Okay.
but one of the issues is that the ash is it's quite deep in some places and is kind of the consistency of snow.
Okay.
So like your feet sink into the ground a bit. But Talos says, I have carabiner hooks, so plenty of chain, but nothing long enough by itself, but you could string them together, as well as use them to help with binding various spaces or places in the chain.
Sounds good. I mean, we'll bring it all back, presumably.
Yeah.
It is no worry. If it is destroyed in the process, it is still very much worthwhile to help Pastor Hawkins.
It's good to know.
Mr. Master Hawkins.
Is there anything else that you would require?
I think that's it for now.
Well, if you need anything else, let me know. Also, you do see within the garage a massive table where a giant golem is laid out. The arm is heavily damaged and kind of hanging on by several threads of armor and internal mechanisms, with a couple of salamanders kind of working on it
welding and using various magical enchantments.
When you say giant, do you mean like giant to us, or like actual like giants, like 15-foot tall giant?
Yeah, it's like 20 feet tall.
Okay. All right.
Meanwhile, Ewan's like, I've had worse.
Me and you both, buddy.
Yeah, so based on that, you're guessing that's probably the Duke. And I can
What sort of
show you
weaponry
guys
are
a
we looking
picture.
for?
'Cause I don't think you guys have seen a picture of the Duke yet.
I've never even heard
Wood
of Duke.
Duke.
All right, he's not under the Duke.
Sir Duke.
Sir Duke. Duke Master. I'll find it. So anyways, Ewan, you pull out the vehicle. Shortly after that, Tallow and several of the salamanders who have stopped doing what they're doing to provide you aid gather up quite a bit of chain and a number of carabiner hooks and help load it into the war machine so that it's easier to carry.
Then I think we drive back down and start setting up the chains.
Yeah, maybe we double them over a couple times.
Okay, here's the Duke.
Nice.
I think it's funny that they gave him abs.
That's the sign that you're strong.
Metallic abs.
Right. For the first time ever, the branded one wonders whether or not Blade has abs.
He just doesn't like to show them.
All right, so you guys get the vehicle and all the chain out. Is there anything else that you need in town? Any supplies?
I mean, for this, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm mentally going through this. I'm sure there is, but I'm just not thinking of it.
Yeah, it's not high enough. And I think it's not high enough to warrant like additional grappling
Yeah.
supplies and like grapple hooks and stuff. So
Right. I assume that Master Hawkins wasn't with us when we were in the garage gathering all this stuff. So I would pull people aside and say, if we wanted to sort of, make maximum advantage out of this, I can cast Dispel Magic if need be, and I can cast Telekinesis if need be. But what if they have scrolls of those spells here? We could go to somebody with our contract and say we need the scrolls, and then free
Yep.
scrolls.
That might be a good idea.
I would worry about taking advantage of the guidance that we've been shown.
We're basically government contractors here. This is what government contractors do. They take advantage of every loophole they can find.
This would be good business back in Eberron. But here, if we make a bad impression at the only safe haven we have,
Yeah, it is true.
that would be less than ideal.
I mean, he did say he was the presider or something, whatever the hell he was. Whatever the hell that word was.
The pre-resident.
Did you
He
see?
was here before everybody.
That does sound about right.
Did you see the joy on her face at getting to help Master Hawkins? We could spread that joy to someone who has scrolls.
I mean, it might be worthwhile to just even see, maybe there's some other scrolls that might help us, not for acquiring more, but maybe something that might actually help us in this endeavor. Because I'm still not sure exactly how we're getting the hooks out.
Well, so telekinesis will allow me to perform essentially delicate manipulations, but
On
with a much greater degree of strength than I could do with my physical hands.
Can you do on 5 different ones though?
I assume I would have to do one at a time, but I
Okay.
think we would always have to do one at a time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think it can't
there's already some wounding there. I assume removing the hooks will be somewhat easier than trying to tear them out.
Yeah. I'm sort of thinking it might be good for us to just look and see. I mean, if there is a scroll vendor here that might be able to help us, maybe there's another spell that you might be able to cast, or even I can cast, that might be able to help a little bit. Because beyond pulling right now, that's about my extent.
So I don't know for certain, but I think that with telekinesis, we should be able to remove the hooks. Or telekinesis in an action point. We should be able to remove the hooks. It would be good to have a healing on hand for when we remove the pole from the creature's leg. And while I could cast Aura Vitality at that point, I know you also have a healing spirit.
Yeah,
Although I don't know the mechanics. I forget the mechanics of it. Does Wilfred have to move his leg into the healing spirit?
Yeah, for how big he is, I'm not sure exactly how that works. Oops, nope, wrong button.
You'd be able to work it in. I mean, we're doing it outside of combat, so
yeah.
there's more flexibility
in
terms of how the spells work.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else we might need.
Find a salve that we could.
Well, okay. I have actually
ointments.
thought of something. We don't know the nature of the magic of this spear, and so it is possible it might be helpful if we had like a remove curse scroll, as I don't have that spell ready.
Yeah.
Or greater
Very
restoration
reasonable.
would also remove a curse.
Yeah, or if it is, or something even worse, like I mean, it's something that appears their hide, it's hide with, so I can only imagine what else they might have put into this thing.
Right. I mean, if they had a scroll of regeneration, that would be great, although it's too high a level for any of us to cast.
Yeah.
I wouldn't assume that Wilfred's immune to disease and poison, but
It is worth bringing along supplies or a scroll just in case.
What kind of material exactly could we determine? Was it adamantine?
So no, it didn't look like adamantine, but it did look like there were a number of different materials kind of throughout the construction of the thing. So in veins that go from the front to back, not like necessarily circling it.
Okay.
did we check the spear for any kind of trap or something? If we try to take this thing out, it may activate something else.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
you
know it's
guys did
magical.
not
That's
do
about,
that.
yeah.
So Ewan, Blade, and Lux would know that the charms and harms is probably the best place to find any kind of spell scrolls.
You can go to charms and harms.
Well, somebody does that. Who? Somebody want to come with me to start hooking up these chains? At least setting it out.
Yeah, I'll go
It,
with you.
it now occurs to me that I have been to the Wandering Emporium before, because I distinctly remember intimidating the guy at the Charms and Harms.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, all right. So
So while you're there, check to see if you could spot any traps on this spear. It never occurred to me that a spear would be trapped, because usually the spear is the trap.
I will
Also check
do my
to make
best.
sure, check to see if when we try to remove the spear, is the spear head set to come out with it, or would it just remain in the wound?
I mean, when I did a medicine check, it wasn't barbed, or at least I couldn't tell that it was barbed. So I think it's just a solid shaft there. I think it's
I would say that you also got a good look at it while you were up there, and
okay.
it doesn't appear like there's any section.
Okay.
So it seems like a solid mass.
Okay.
And even the barbs on the side, like I said, there's no mechanism that would explain their movement at all, including any hinge. Like it looks
Okay.
like it's all just one solid piece.
So that might have been the magic we were detecting, or that uh the branded one was detecting, but don't know for sure. But yeah, I'll go help Ewan. I'll go check for potential traps and help Ewan with chains and setting up.
All right, so quickly let's so Ewan and Melodia, I assume you guys are helping each other, so one of you give me a survival check to see how well you do with that.
I get a +2.
I got a +6.
I'll help you.
Nice.
You're pretty confident in the job that you do, getting everything tight and doing a good job with arranging the chain for maximum effect.
Okay.
So who's going to the Charms and Harms?
I am.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay. So you guys walk into the Charms and Harms. As before, the front area is the charms where all the magical items are, and then there's another area in the back, the harms, where all the weapons and implements of war are. And you hear from the back a constant barrage of banging and cursing. Meanwhile, a turtle looks up at you as Swervathan first smiles, and then seeing the branded one kind of sneers a bit. Ah, it's you. What can I help you with today?
I come up and put the contract down in front of him and say, we're helping Master Hawkins heal the damage that was done to Wilfred. We need to requisition a scroll of, well, it depends. We'll return anything we don't use, of course, but a scroll of Dispel Magic, a scroll of either Greater Restoration or Remove Curse. And if you have a scroll of telekinesis, that might be very useful.
If Master Hawkins is requesting assistance, then of course I will help Mr. Hawkins. Some of the scrolls that you mention are quite easy to find. I do know that I have a scroll of Dispel Magic. In fact, I have several. I will need to check on the others. Give me a moment while I search through my scroll container.
We will browse in the meantime for our personal needs.
So let's see.
I retroactively put a note on Pantone, just as arrows and some gold on him.
Sure. Um, okay. So Swervathan, the Goodling Splat, reemerges after putting on his spectacles and thumbing through some scrolls, and he says, "Unfortunately, I do not have any scrolls of telekinesis or any scrolls of greater restoration. I do have a scroll of remove curse. Um, if that would be helpful. If you have other scrolls that or spells that you might recommend, I am happy to search."
Um, uh, it is not guaranteed that our first attempt to remove this thing will work. The remove curse we will need, and the dispel magic we will need. The spear is definitely magical. We believe it may be that the curse is what allowed it to penetrate the flesh in the first place, and we're afraid of residual effects. So we do need the dispel magic and the remove curse scrolls. I'm afraid to say we almost certainly will be using both of those.
Oh, you have no need to apologize. As I said, Master Hawkins is a dear friend, and he has helped me get to where I am today. I am happy to do whatever is needed to support him and this wandering emporium.
Well, and thank you for the scrolls. I'm sure we'll be back. Our companion needs arrows, and you obviously have a wide selection to look through.
Are there other items or scrolls that could prove helpful?
None that we can think of now. Well, as I said, we may have to come back once we have a little more information, once the first attempt has been made.
Hold on one second. I feel like I don't know, but Swervathan would know if he had any items that would help with anything that you mentioned, but I don't have a encyclopedic knowledge of all the magic items that exist.
I hadn't been thinking about magic items. Uh,
Movable rod.
yeah, I mean that probably would be useful if the war machine thing doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of.
Let's see.
One second. And he goes and he kind of searches through some of the shelves that he has behind his desk. And then he does pull out a what looks like a staff, a quarterstaff. And he says, "This is a staff, an immovable staff. It is similar to an immovable rod. It's just a bit longer."
Very good. This may come very handy.
Might there be anything else that would help with serving Master Hawkins's needs.
Can't think of anything at the moment, but if something occurs, we'll return and let you know.
You had no scroll. You had no. Do you have any scrolls of healing? So that we could. There. Yeah. Do you have anything that we do need to ideally apply some sort of balm or aid to Wilfred, who has been grievously injured. So
I assume you don't have a ring of telekinesis.
I do not. Um,
That would have been really hard not to steal anyway. Like I'd have to, obviously, we'd have to fake it being destroyed so that I could keep it and cast telekinesis at will.
What do Wilfred's injuries look like?
It looks like a 40-foot long metal pole has been jammed into his calf with barbs that shot out of the pole to grip the flesh around the wound.
but the flesh is soft and pink. It was exposed to the air.
Well, I don't have any curing scrolls, but I do have this. And he goes and he pulls out a can, kind of like one of those containers of Elmer's paste that kindergartners use. This is sovereign glue. It will stick to anything. Perhaps this can be used to close his wounds if you can actually pull them close enough.
I would ask him for the solvent too.
Right, because I've never been able to use super glue without getting it on my hands.
Unfortunately, I don't have the solvent.
Well, we should take the glue because it might be useful.
No, it's
Though
not.
I'm a little fearful of being permanently glued to Wilfred's calf.
Yeah, that is a risk, but there is this nice little applicator that it comes with, and he unscrews the top and pulls it out, and it's just basically a kind of like a piece of plastic that you can scrape it on like Elmer's paste.
He's got to roll a dex save now to make sure it doesn't drip on him.
He doesn't have any flex seal.
There you go. We need to buy a pallet of duct tape to take down there.
Well, if there's anything else that I can do to help, please let me know.
Of course.
We'll let you know how it goes.
All right. So, once you're done, is there anywhere else that you guys are going, or are you heading back to the outside the Emporium?
I think Blade would be good.
I
Okay.
mean, we could check with Lulu. She may have some sort of salve or unguent to apply to a wound.
All right. Well, you guys can head over to Lulu's if you wish. So you walk into Lulu's place, and you see Lulu with their back turned to you. Looks like
who might be stirring something, or yeah, probably stirring something. Doesn't seem to have noticed you or heard you.
Lulu.
What? What? Oh, it's you guys. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Thanks to the courtesy of Master Hawkins, we are back to fighting spirits.
Isn't Master Hawkins great? You really helped me out, especially after I lost my eyes.
I can see that. I couldn't even tell.
How can you tell? They're holes. Look. And he kind of puts his finger in and out.
I was being kind, but we've got the problem, and we think that you could help.
Oh no, not a problem.
We are doing a little job for Master Hawkins to take the spear out of Wilfred's leg.
Right. Get a spear in Wilfred's leg? When did that happen?
2 days ago, 3 days ago.
What?
There was some warlords.
Archon the Cruel.
Oh, I didn't even know that happened. Weird.
Well,
I normally
now
know all the things that are going on around here. I guess my ears must be going too.
well, now there is an enormous spear that has somehow pierced Wilfred's flesh and is
Not a
sticking.
spear. That's a
it-
table.
I'm sure it is. So we're going to be removing the spear from the wound, but it is deep enough that it is essentially standing out horizontal, despite being. How long was it exactly?
About 20 feet.
Sticking out about 20 feet. When we remove it, obviously Wilfred is going to have an enormous wound. We were
Oh,
hoping you might
no.
have. We were hoping you might have something to help treat the wound.
Huh. Give me a few minutes. Let me go see what I got. Just give me a second.
And he flies off and starts like knocking things off his shelf and just kind of rummaging and just looking everywhere. And then he pulls out what looks like a paint bucket. And he comes back.
Here, this may help.
What is it?
Is this the bucket to catch the blood?
It's a blood bucket.
And this goo is really good for wounds. It doesn't really heal them too bad, but it makes them numb.
Well, that would be good enough.
It's also really good for getting high.
Hux feels the pull of her old life.
This should be
At some point, it's like Jack Black and Tropic Thunder. Don't judge me.
that should be good.
It might be useful to apply this before we yank the spear out of Wilfred's leg, as I'd hate to get kicked.
I'm kind of thinking about it now. It's only like 20 feet, right? This spear. And Wilfred's like fucking mountain sized. Like this is nothing. This is like he's been bitten by a mosquito.
Well, you don't know exactly how deep it is into him though. It sticks
Sure.
out 20 feet.
Yeah. I'm just saying. So it's a splinter is what it is. We're helping Wilfred remove a splinter.
Well, imagine having a pencil sticking out of your calf. I imagine that would be fairly uncomfortable.
Especially if you're trying to write.
What's that?
Especially if you're trying to write something.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah. How are you guys?
Good.
I don't really know you.
That hurts my feelings. Why would you hurt my feelings? I try to be so good to you guys. I gave you all the stuff. I gave you all the things to make your own demon ichor. And by the way, you still haven't given me a demon ichor. I would really like some of the demon ichor, but you don't bring me any.
We haven't run into. Well, every time we run into demon necker, it is very caustic and almost kills one of us.
Yeah, but I buy it from you.
Yes, but we haven't found a way to harvest it that doesn't involve the significant threat to our lives.
What do you mean? You have the kit. All you have to do is take the demon guts and blood and muscle and all that, go on and put it in, and you mix it up and make demon ichor.
We've actually been facing more abominations than demons recently.
Oh no, not abominations. What's an abomination?
Deformed creatures rather than actual fiends.
Oh, deformed, like me. And I lost my eyes.
Yes, I
Yes,
could see the holes.
you
Yeah.
know, now that you mentioned it, the resemblance is uncanny.
Yep.
But
You're right though. We do have the kits. When we've run into demons, we should be more alert to the use of those kits.
Yeah, you can use demon ichor for all kinds of things. But it's not good for getting high, though. You should not get high with it. But you can use it on your weapons, and they can have some neat effects when you hit someone with them, especially if they're bladed weapons. Those ones work best. So, how are things?
things are good, but I'm afraid we probably need to be tending to Wilfred. This was our last stop.
Oh, yeah, you gotta go help Wilfred. Wilfred is such a helpful little creature. We all ride around on his back all day, every day. He keeps us safe, just like Mac Hawkins.
What they do. It's good seeing you.
It was great seeing you guys. I just wish you would bring me some demon ichor or some nice drugs to get high.
Next time that you see us, one of us will be carrying demon liquor.
Oh, that would make me so happy.
Oh, we have to be off now. Don't get too high.
Okay, I'll try. Bye.
Better be hitting the old dusty trail.
Well, about that time.
So then go back down. Oh, did he give us like a paintbrush? I want to stick my hand in the numbing agent and then smear it on.
He did not. In fact, there's
you
not
just,
even
like,
a lid.
Splash it on.
So yeah, so you guys head out towards the edge of town. Master Hawkins is there waiting, and when he sees you guys, he says, "Oh, you guys ready to go down?"
Yes, I think we are.
Okay.
So with I can't really put Wilfred in the ground right now because they got him hooked up to the war machine, but I can cast Featherfall on you guys.
That works.
Wait, what? And then you get pushed off.
So-
Cartoonish by the scruff and just
So yeah, you guys float down safely and then meet up with Ewan and Melodia.
Should have seen if he could just like lower just a few feet into the ground so that this thing is closer. Let's see what sort of fine control he has over this round melding.
I mean, his legs already sink down pretty far into the ground just because of his weight.
You're trying to say he's fat?
Yeah, he's the size of a mountain. That's real fat. He's just slightly lighter than your mama.
So, good job on getting the vehicle hooked up.
I think we're as good to go on our end. Did you guys get everything we need?
So I will present them with the immovable staff, the scroll of remove curse, and then tell them that Lulu gave us this can of numbing agent, but no way to apply it. Oh, and the universal, the sovereign glue, so that we can, if we need to close the wound, and we can stretch the skin back across, maybe we can use that and show them the helpful applicator.
So you throw the numbing agent at me first, and then the glue.
Right. But we may want to, it may be worth trying to find a way to smear the numbing agent around the wound before we extract this
And-
harpoon.
And is it just a command word for the staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we
Actually,
should
it's a
only
button.
need the
It's a button.
It's a button. Okay.
we should only need the staff if the war machine doesn't work, since that's already hooked up.
That's what I was thinking. In case the war machine goes bad, we have a that's our emergency.
So who wants to apply this numbing agent to the wound?
Yeah, I'm checking, seeing if I have anything that would make sense to use to apply it with.
Doesn't Lux have a painter's tools?
Yeah, I got painter supplies. I could do that.
Does that include like the long?
House painting stools.
Rollers and naps.
All right, Lux, give me a paint supplies check with dexterity to see how well you get into the wounds.
Yeah, did you say you're proficient in the painter's tools?
Yeah, yeah.
That was like the one tool proficiency you had.
You think you do an adequate job?
Mm.
All right, so numbing agent has been applied.
Does that, so I'm sure somebody standing underneath me is, do they have to make a dex check, to see if I drip anybody on anybody?
Um,
I'm not saying underneath it.
yeah, I don't think anybody
Oh,
would, or also I think your check is good enough that none of it really drips down.
Oh, it's too bad.
Sneeze into the bucket, goes everywhere.
I mean, you could have yourself stand under it if you wanted to drip down onto you, and you can get some contact high.
No.
So here's what I think the sequence will be now that the area is numbed. I will cast Dispel Magic on this spear around the wound. Then I will cast Telekinesis and begin to try to remove the hooks from the flesh. If that works, and if we can get all the hooks removed, then we'll need you in the war machine to essentially accelerate as quickly as possible. And hopefully the spear will be pulled free.
And I'm
Then-
sort of thinking maybe standing towards the back of the vehicle and Joe with the rod just in case.
I think
mean,
we also need you ready to cast your healing spirit.
Yeah. How I guess we didn't decide how far of the chain do you think we used? Like how far is the back of the car from the calf, I guess?
You have enough chain where you probably could have it like 50, 80 feet if you wanted.
Okay.
So you have a good amount of slack. All right, so what is the next thing you guys are doing?
I'll just say this. Don't like sit right beneath the chain.
Oh no, I'm not going to. No. No. I'm gonna straddle it actually.
That's probably not a good idea either.
Yeah. No, I can cast a healing spirit in 60 feet. That's all I was looking for. So yeah, I'm gonna stand off to the side of the chain, but in between the calf and the truck.
It's like
And
if
I'm
this
going to be
thing
standing off to
snaps-
this. Right.
Yeah,
I'm standing. Bad.
whatever I deem as a safe distance from the side, if I think it's going to snap 20 feet, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And I'm going to be standing off to the side of the spear itself. So is everyone ready?
You may.
I'll have the door open. Somebody can yell out to me to accelerate.
Right. We can Twilight Bark between Blade Lux and into Ewan.
All right, so what is the sequence of events?
First, I cast Dispel Magic on the spear at the
Okay.
site of the wound. And then I cast Telekinesis and begin to try to remove the hooks from the flesh using that.
All right, so with the dispel magic, give me a caster level check.
Uh, I'm going to action point that.
There you go.
Okay, and then also give me an Arcana check. You can have advantage on it because you cast dispel magic. Okay, so you sense that the dispel magic was successful, but not permanent. You don't know how long you have. The magic is suppressed for now. But if you aren't quick enough in getting the harpoon out, it may come back.
Okay. So next I cast Telekinesis and I begin trying to manipulate the hooks to get them out.
Okay. So give me another caster level check. Okay. So you are able to slowly bring one of the hooks out, and once it leaves the wound, you do see that there is some kind of black ooze that kind of drips a little bit from the wound and from the hook of the that prong. But once you get it out of the flesh and get it back to a certain point, it kind of snaps into place in the center of the shaft.
Okay. How many hooks are there? Like
5.
Okay. So do I do another caster level check for the next hook?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right. So you're actually able to get 2 very easily. They come out like butter. All right, you're just completely successful. It is so much easier than you expected. The resistance is minimal.
It's my masterful medicine skill.
But each wound left does seem to drip with some kind of black ooze. You don't know if it's Wilfred's blood or if it's something else, but you do see that.
Quick, collect some for what's his name?
Yeah.
So that was that part. Now I will yell to Blade, to yell to Lux, to yell to Ewan.
All right, Ewan, 5.
All right. Ewan, give me a driver check using dexterity.
We didn't have to make a telephone check like that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm willing to use a max point on that. See if maybe I can get a slightly better roll here. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Like, are you like gunning it? Are you kind of and using the slack to kind of help pull it out? Are you trying to do kind of a steady, slow pull? What are you thinking?
I figure if this thing is in there pretty deep, then going ahead just like full throttle right away, I feel like I'll just start spinning out. So I figure just put a lot of power into the low end so that I can just
Okay.
start building the torque necessary to get going, pull this thing
Okay.
out.
So the chains strain between the harpoon and the war machine. As you put more power into it, you can feel that the controls are kind of are beginning to shake pretty badly, and the entire vehicle is shaking, and the shaking is increasing and increasing. You do get the sense that you are moving, and those outside the vehicle can see that the harpoon is slowly beginning to come out. At the last moment, you are able to and you pull it out. That's also the moment when you would have lost control, but your driver check allowed you to maintain control despite how bad everything is shaking. And but the car, with all of the power that you use to get it out, is basically collapsing as the structural integrity is really bad. So give me a dexterity save to see if you can bail in time.
Wow.
Go
Not
ahead and
only-
describe what it is that everybody sees as this car falls apart.
I had to confirm.
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't even sure what this vehicle specifically looked like. So
It's somewhat similar to your demon grinder.
okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I had a door open so that I could hear. So like as soon as I feel it like give, like jump forward, I just let go, realize that this thing is fucking falling apart all of a sudden. There was an open doorway and just fucking booked it right out. but like I was like booking it right to the doorway, and then I kind of like step out and like let it fucking just collapse, and I'm just strolling out like nothing's happening.
He didn't even lose a stride as he exited the vehicle.
And then
You want that
behind
to
him,
happen.
the vehicle just explodes as he walks in slow motion away.
Slow motion away.
And as the smoke clears and all the shrapnel hits the ground, we look and we just see 2 feet sticking out from underneath. and it's the warlord who shot the spear.
Yeah, it's Archon the Cruel with the hand of Vecna just sticking out from under.
Sticking out, yeah. 2 feet in a hand.
So
So-
you've managed to pull out the harpoon.
Okay, then I'm going to cast Healing Spirit on the wound.
Okay.
And I'm concerned about the black ichor.
Yeah,
So I
should
guess-
I mean, my concern is, my concern is like if it's like a poison or a disease that where it's like I'm healing the outside of the wound and trapping it inside.
Right. So I also do. I hate to climb anything because I'm not good at it. But let me see if I think lesser restoration is touch, unfortunately.
Can I-
Yes, it's touch.
I could try to help you climb.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to climb so that I can touch the wound.
Okay. So it's not hard to climb Wilfred, especially since you don't really need to climb too high. So you don't need a check. You're able to do it. It just maybe takes you a few minutes more than it would somebody else.
So I'm gonna cast lesser restoration twice.
Okay.
One to cure poison, and then one to cure disease. 'Cause I
Okay.
don't know what this is. So that's 2 spell slots.
All right. Yeah, so the black ooze stops flowing out of the wounds. It wasn't flowing a whole lot to begin with. So, I mean, it's possible that was just did it naturally, but it's the timing between you casting the spell and the ceasing of that is difficult to ignore.
And then I'll use the scroll of remove curse
Okay.
just in case.
Okay. Anything else you guys are doing?
Then I would
Yeah, I'll
tell
do
Melodia.
Yeah, I'll do my Healing Spirit on that area.
Okay. Are you guys gonna use the Sovereign Glue on it?
I'm not touching that. Yeah.
What does it look like when the healing spirit's done with it? Does it look like there's enough stuff to stick together to even glue something over it?
It lasts for 1
Oh, yeah.
minute. So
I mean, the wound is healing, but it's not closing. So
yeah, it's also only a 5 foot.
See, this is the added challenge though of, I guess, you know what I could do? I will climb back down. And I will try. I still have telekinesis for a couple more minutes. I will try to sovereign glue up the wound using telekinesis so that I don't get glued permanently to the calf of Wilfred with all the hair.
Okay.
The Matty mess.
Give me a caster check. Yeah, you're able to apply it, no problem. It is interesting because the Sovereign Glue seems to stick to the magic of your spell. Which is interesting, but as long as you don't bring that portion of the telekinesis closer to you or stop concentrating on keeping it out, you're able to keep it from actually attaching to you.
As long as I'm not glued to the hairy leg of Wilfred.
Cut the hair,
Um,
it's like stuck to you.
So Master Hawkins comes by, and you don't even remember seeing him come down with you or how he got down, but he's running and he's like, "Oh my God, you guys did an amazing job. Thank you. Thank you. Here's some sodies and here's some little Debbies."
So although this Zodi is too sweet for my taste, at least it is pretty hot here, so I guess I'll have one.
Oh yeah, they're nice and cold. They have even like, well, there's no moisture in the air to condense, but it still is very nice and cool.
Ever cooling koozies on them.
Sure.
Your Eberron has to have those. Just prestidigitation to cool it down, right?
Yeah.
So we can end there for tonight and pick up next time with the celebration and whatever other shenanigans you guys have to do in town.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We're goddamn heroes.